TIFU by falling for the most transparent scam ever. 25M here. First time posting. Sorry if wrong subreddit. Was about to sell an item from FB Marketplace. Guy said he wanted to do it via a well-known courier service and he then sent me the link. And I fell for the classic type your card data and wait for confirmation. Bank app notification came. I unlocked with fingerprint and I was out of 260 90% of my funds, which is half of a paycheck here and a lot of money for a student. Didn't need the usual fingerprint. Pay fingerprint again procedure but NVM that now. Bank says they can't return because I authorized it. But none of this really matters for the post. How do I get over this in my mind? I still feel guilt and shame for many things that I did wrong since 20 years ago. And none of them I screwed up this bad. My family told me it's okay. Just move on. It's just money and they will help me. But I know what my mind is like. It's going to guilt trip me fairly often. I didn't earn it myself but got it from my family, so I feel like I've failed them again. Anyone with a similar mind? How do you deal with it? TL. Dear lost €260 by falling for a noob scam. Overcome by guilt and shame. Edit. Thank you all so much for everything. I understand it will sting for a while, but as many of you said, it's a lesson. I will be going to my bank first, then to the police. Bank support could only cancel my card. Other departments didn't work today. I realize there's zero chance of getting my money, but I would like to at least help stop them from scamming others who might have much more on their accounts. €260 feels like a ton of money when you're a student. Because it is a ton of money when you're a student. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not an insurmountable amount of cash by any means. We've all had mistakes that cost us a few hundred. And when we're lucky, like you are, like I was when I was your age, for a lot more than €260. BTW. Then we have family that can help us out. Learn from the mistake. Thank your family sincerely. Offer to pay them back when you can. And move on. There's absolutely nothing to be gained by guilt-tripping yourself. You won't. 15 years ago I got hustled out of $3 and a lighter. Still eats me up. Unfortunately, you don't know better until you know better. Always remember is a lesson, not a life sentence. You will always make mistakes, as how you grow from them that makes us better. All education is expensive. You didn't get scammed because you are a sucker. Or because you are trusting. Or because you are kind. Or because you are stupid. You got scammed because scammers use human nature as the mechanism for their cons. And you are a human. Don't let someone else's unkindness extinguish your own. It will be a net loss to the world if you do so. Don't let their inhumanity extinguish your humanity. Paying to be taught something isn't something one feels shame over when it's intentional. When I make a mistake that costs me money, I like to look at the cost of the lesson I learned and whether the cost was worth it. The same as I would for any lesson I intentionally paid for. As the end, the result is the same. In this case, you learned a valuable lesson. And while it wasn't necessarily a cheap one, it wasn't that expensive in the grand scheme of things. So it's really not a bad deal. €260 is a cheap price to pay for a lesson like that. Imagine, later in life, if you fell for a scam and it cost you €260,000. The only thing I can tell you is, the best lesson is a bought lesson. Just know that people wouldn't do these scams if people didn't fall for it. You're not the first. You won't be the last. Just always be skeptical before typing your information into anything. I do not know which country this happened, but even if the bank won't do anything, it's possible the police will. Make a report with the police for the fraud. They may investigate and you'll get your money back eventually. At least it's something to try. Best of lucks. I bought half a brick 40 years ago in NYC for $50 USD, if that makes you feel any better. It was supposed to be a cool new Sony Walkman. 90% of everything sold or purchased on FB is a scam. On the scale of things, it's a cheap lesson. It's big enough cash that it'll sting for a while, but you will get over it and it will sharpen your senses for you. It's okay. We've all done stupid stuff. Let the guilt roll over you. Don't be in a hurry to wipe it away. That's the lesson getting properly loaded. You'll be all the better for it when it wears off. Think of it as tuition and you failed the midterm. You'll ace the final. We all learn some lessons like this. The lesson here is that now you know and will never do it again. And now you move on. A couple years back I'd been living in my car for about a month and I made a post on Kijiji or Marketplace about looking for a place. Found a killer deal and messaged back and forth with him a couple of times. Eventually we talked on the phone. He seemed like a super nice guy. Long story short, I sent him $2,500 CAD in Bitcoin. Never saw the place. Never met the guy in person. He ghosted me. Took me a while to get over that one. Well, it sucks, but after all is just some money and now you have a story to tell. I do get it that the bank can't do much, but at least open a case with the police. You might get lucky, although chances are slim. Happened to me on an eBay-like page and buying a PSP. Except I wired half the money and never heard from the seller again. It happens. Dude. It will be a story to share in a decade about how you were so easily scammed. If you're really struggling with this, try cognitive behavior therapy, CBT. I got scammed at a low point in life. Really kicked me while I was down and it bothered the hell out of me. CBT really helped me get over the worst of it. Hint: it's the scammers that have something wrong with them, not the victim. You will look back at this and laugh about it. You are very lucky to walk away without only 260 E. Could have been much more. You got a great story to tell at a bar, etc.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.